from Curse. Like we said, they're not the ones to be, here's something new. They're the ones to kind of take what you're doing and turn it back on yourself.
Yeah, like they've played every single one of these champions tons and tons of times, so that may mean that it's going to be a lot easier for them. They're very comfortable with all of these picks. Jarvan, very aggressive, able to come at you over walls very early in the game. He's able to get around wards if Curse is aware that the wards are there. So it's going to be very important that GGU does not let them let Curse see them place these wards.
And we actually see the support tree for Nintendo X going for that Explorer ward as well. So he's going to be playing just so much for cooldowns and a lot of initiation coming from Leona. Also, how do you feel about that Leona from the jungle? The Zenith Blade has some good range after they got that quick fix in there to actuate the correct range. So
yeah. I mean, the ganks for her are really scary. They're very similar to Amumu ganks, which I've done all the time, yeah. I'm very popular champion that is pretty easy to gank with. I mean, it's a similar thing where you have to land your gap closer or else your gank has just failed. So we'll have to see how he's been practicing with that Zenith Blade, because it's a little bit different than a lot of other skill shots. Like you said, the tweak made it a lot easier to land, but she's definitely very dangerous for early ganking. I haven't seen it or played against it a lot. Obviously, the Leona is very a cheese thing, as Nintendo said. I don't think it's cheesy though. It's just not used.
Right.
That's not. I wouldn't call it cheesy.
Exactly. They're not doing anything crazy with it. He's just playing it.
Yeah.
So we'll have him taking up the Wolves. That was crazy.
Everything's crazy.
Everything's so crazy. So as they just go up, normal start. Zion Spartan actually going to try to grab golems for himself up top, and he feels like he'll be okay in that lane.
He should be okay with it. I mean, I would like to see what in the utility tree Nintendo got for this jungle Leona. Like you said, we can definitely tell he went deep. He probably went 100% in there and got that extra move speed. So that should definitely help his ganks out a lot as well. We'll see him go straight from this blue buff with his smite for an early red buff, and then look to apply pressure. We have two nice wards out for Curse early though.
As we have a bit of a push towards Zion Spartan top, he has, he used a good amount of his potions already, but he's still going to be good. He has enough to keep sustaining there. We'll have to see if Voyboy can do the same in that bottom lane. Very, very short amount of time into this game, and it looks like they're doing all right for themselves. Voyboy has learned himself into that 2v1 lane and not to be aggressive anymore, so we'll see if he can keep that in. Saint Vicious right there for Zion Spartan. He tries to flip out, and it looks like he's only going to take a bit of damage. The flash is used for Saint, the flash for Zion. I think he knows he can't chase even with the red buff there. But keeps himself a chance for top lane in a little bit.
Yeah, Zion could sort of sense that early gank by Saint Vicious coming in. When the wave is pushed up to your tower like this, that's usually when the jungler will come in, and now Nintendo just going to do a job of clearing the wave like we saw a lot of the Koreans do again. Just try and help him clear this wave, get some CS, hopefully defend this turret a little bit. It's dropping really quickly.
They are going quite hard on it. They throw it on the flag, a little bit of armor and strength there.
And strength, yes, valor. They do. It's also worth mentioning that they sent Zion back to that top lane, since it's already a lot of a big change having Fat on your team. They're just going to have him go middle. Jace is one of those few champions that he does play middle. He's normally a top laner, but Jace is a top lane and a mid lane champion, so he's very comfortable on that champion by himself, and really you just have to farm up and not get too aggressive and overcommit.
We already see Fat trying to grab up some mana regen in that top lane as he went for the Fairy Charm to start. He wants to just be able to stay safe, or not top lane, rather mid lane, but stay safe and spam out those abilities so he can keep farming. St. Vicious once again, same spot, but he has warded out this time, and Zion Spartan is going to be forced to back off of this one. Curse playing it slow and steady, and it looks like they're going to grab an early tower if they keep this up. Yeah, the top tower is definitely going to go down here, but the bottom tower being defended by Voyboy is very low as well. Don't mash me on Graves. He's a great pusher. You can buckshot waves really early, and Bloodwater doing a good job as well, using every single chance he gets to auto attack, also making great use of the plants. So they're shoving just by themselves without the help of the jungler, and they should be able to retaliate soon. For Curse, if Voyboy can defend this, it would be a huge win. Kobe, yeah, well, we just had our first tower of the game, but fastest tower of the LCS with that top one taken down. The second fastest as well coming in. He actually almost takes out Don't Mash Me in a 2v1, forces the cleanse. Great job by Voyboy.
Yeah, you could tell right there, they really wanted to finish off that turret. They knew that the switch was coming, and they wanted to even it up, but Voyboy, great job right there. Not only does he defend the turret, but gets the summoners out as well. Cleanse and exhaust down.
Looks like he'll be able to stay in lane, and as his team actually comes down there, they want to try to just stomp on this one. That top tower was taken down, so they're looking for a quick engage on this, and they may actually just come away with Dragon if they can do some good damage to Leona.
Yeah, you can tell what they're thinking right now is that since you get the early top turret, the way that a lot of teams answer that is by going with the Dragon while they have the advantage bottom lane. What GGU did, though, was not go for Dragon. They tried to finish off the turret and even the turrets, but since they failed at that and had to recall, they don't get the Dragon either, and so it's just an all-out win for Curse. You can see that's a solid 1,000 gold lead.
Looks like, I was going to say, he may be going for the tower, but he just goes for minions there as Mashmi is still within range. And you can see Expunge in that flask doing quite a bit of damage as it just takes away on Mashmi. Comp and Elements, like I said, they just haven't been pressured as a bottom lane composition. They need to get, somebody needs to put some pressure on them.
Yeah, they have to keep him in check somehow. I mean, Twitch, he just gets so strong. Once he's able to get the first AD item, you always have to be wary of that assassination. It's kind of like having an Eve on the team. When he is missing, you have to be aware. St. Vicious down here for a lane gank bottom. We'll see if he can answer this with a TF as well.
And the TF is going to be ulting in here as they come into the fight. Bloodwater taking a good amount of damage, but Vicious rooted under the turret. They get enough burst out. First blood for Cop.
You can see Saint was able to take that turret for a long time, even being level 4 due to his shield and the armor aura from Taric, and as well the heal from Elements.
Voyboy just trying to go back now in this top lane. They've swapped it back. Let's see if he can actually get himself farmed up. It is 52 in what the lanes have saw for swap for Fat to 30 for that Akali, but he's been able to be in mid. So the lane swap there isn't really compared to those two. It's actually going to be to the 31 of Zion Spartan. So Voyboy's keeping himself kind of in the range he needs to be.
Yeah, Akali does get really scary right when she hits 6 because she gets 3 gap closers she can get on you whenever she wants. So this is going to be a heads up Fizz versus Akali, and Zion going to have to use his dash right there to be able to get out of that. The playful trickster. That's what it's called.
I know. That was a great way
name
to say it. So the wards go down in the bush. They're trying to, or not wards rather, these seeds, as they just try to force Curse out of this. So much aggression coming from the bottom lane. The tier going to Fat so he can start stacking that in his lane. Actually see that arm guard coming out for TF in the middle. Nightjockey looking to stack that up early.
Yeah, I like that pick against the Jace in the middle because since he's got blue buff, he's going to be able to fire off those combos, the gated shock blasts every once in a while. And if you land a few of those on TF, it's going to make him have to use up a lot of that regen that he's bought.
Nintendo trying to grab up his red. We have not seen too much from that Leona jungle just yet. It seems to be a little lackluster for that. He does have the Madrids, so that clear speed's going to get a little faster. Maybe we'll see some presence in these lanes, but right now it's just kind of actually been pushed.
All right.
So he hasn't been able to get to him.
So with Voyboy shoving his top lane, he's now free to roam the map. He's coming middle. This could be a forced dragon for Curse right now because they also have a lot of pressure in this bottom lane. They're sort of keeping them boxed in. It looks like they are just going to switch out though. Saint's going to go back and heal. He was too low after taking that blue buff for Jackie. And Jackie being off the map applies more pressure like we we're talking about before. He could gank any of these lanes. Yeah,
they still could be making a move here. Destiny just came up. He's in his favorite spot for it, but right now he just decides to back. And no, he still continues to move. He has the blue buff, wants to get that utilized here. Could get a good dazzle down. It could mean death for Bloodwater or Mashmi. Tendu is just on the outside. A very good read here in the counter. But, oh, he dips into the Dragon Den. Will he see him? Actually comes almost for the ward. And he almost gets the yellow card down. So now they're alerted down towards the Dragon area, Kobe. 10 minutes into this one, both teams kind of reluctant to go into any more fights here. And we haven't even seen St. Vicious coming out of the jungle.
Well, they kind of tipped their game right there. Showed their cards with the 2 pink wards, so GGU knew something was up. They came to face check it, and that gave time for Zion Spartan to actually shove the lane all the way back to the turret, and now Curse are losing out a few minions at least.
Looks like Voyboy trying to get back to this top lane as fast as possible. Oh, and he does.
Good and thing. He does.
Whew. Good thing. So let's check out the supports. Elements versus Bloodwater here. They're still just kind of biding their time, but Elements found himself an assist in that kill earlier, going for his favorite for that Philosopher, but he has not yet grabbed the Flask, which he usually does quite early. So a little different play style there. We'll see if he tries to rush another item for his team, whether it's Aura Base or maybe a Shurelya's for engagement.
Yeah, and Curse, they don't feel like they have to rush anything. You can tell by Saint's play, he hasn't made any forced any ganks coming in differently here. Nintendo does land a good ult, but
there's that thread in the needle.
Can't follow that up.
Yeah, they got him on the outside of the Solar Flare. Like you said, you gotta hit it. If you don't hit it, then it's not gonna give you what you want, and that's very situational.
It's hard to actually get the stun with it. You really have to hit that dead on. But we do have Fizz. He showed a little bit of presence down there, coming middle, and Voyboy again taking that opportunity. He shoves the lane back. Good job by them, and it's gonna be a slow game, like I was saying. Curse, they're fine waiting because they have a really nice late game comp. I mean, Akali being able to assassinate people, and you also have that Twitch in your back pocket, able to get up to 810 range when he uses his ultimate late game.
And that's something that's really going to take effect over Don't Mash Me. Graves obviously having to put himself in the fight to do that.
Dude, look at him.
We'll see. Yeah, right? He's just hanging. He just wants
swinging his sword.
More kills.
He's not really made a splash with the jungle Leona yet.
No, not yet. Like we said, it's a little slow. Even Saint's taking a slow jungle roll this time. Usually we see him very aggressive, having to do with First Blood, which he did. So he's kind of kept his role since the first week of LCS there as the jungler for Curse. But really, Nintendo not going in, and we'll have to see if this it comes up to what I said before, is are they going to be able to engage on these fights with everybody all in? Are they going to be able to get there in time? Because when he played Nocturne, it was kind of an in and out. He'd Q and terror somebody, and then they'd back off, and they wouldn't know what to do. So
yeah,
see if it helps more in the 5v5 packed in.
It's definitely an all-in comp. They have to get down to Cop and make him stop him from doing damage, basically by training him. Kind of like people do in WoW arenas. You train one of the DPS to lower their DPS output. But I mean, Curse is just fine with this farming game. You can see that Saint went very early upgrading his Madreds into a Wriggle's Lantern, which he doesn't always do. It's really only when you do get that early First Blood and then you want to keep farming the jungle. He can farm the jungle much faster than Leona because Jarvan does have that max HP damage on his passive as well.
We'll see the Infinity Edge coming out here for Cop as he tries to piece that together. The Bloodthirster finished for Don't Mash Me, but again, he doesn't have that sustained healing support, so it's pretty much relying on his positioning with that to keep himself alive in fights. We look around the map, and it's really just Cop with that kill. Lots of zeros and ones all over the place, but there were 3 assists that came off that first kill, and there's a bit of a lead going into the favor of Curse right now with about 2,000 gold and 1 turret.
Yeah, and Fizz would do a really good job getting into some fights here. He is an assassin as well. He's got good CS. He's matched up with Voyboy. So whichever one of them can be in the fight while the other one is farming top lane, like right now it would be Voyboy's farming top lane, so if Fat can make, or if Zion Spartan can make anything happen here mid lane with Fat, then that would be a huge boon for them. It just happens they're standing on a ward.
Yeah, Fat going for actually strength and damage as well, as he didn't even hit the Brutalizer. He just says BF Sword tier, please. So he's hitting some big shock blasts right now. Fizz coming into the mid lane with that blue buff. Zion Spartan. No, they're not going to try to get a cheeky gank in. I thought he was going to hop over the wall and try to go for that. Yeah,
Nintendo again waiting down here bottom. He wants to land those skill shots, but you have to be sure. You have to be 100% sure.
Because TF the Solar Flare, there it is. They go on to Elements. Elements still having that shatter up the root after a beautiful, just one on top of the other crowd control.
Yep, 3 ultimates burned right there. They really wanted to kill, and since it's a slow game, it's fine. You burn all your ultimates to get that one kill because the kills are so few and far between.
Yeah.
I was going to say you have to be aware of that TF ultimate, but they did so fast because they burned all their ultimates that Jackie had no time to get down into range to teleport to that, and that's going to turn into a pre-dragon pretty much here. Saint coming over for a look at a smite steal.
Yeah, but here comes Fat as well. He's got to be careful. He'll definitely get the flag toss in. He's waiting for it. He's got a really good time on this with that pink ward just behind them. Will he try to go in? He does not get it. The smite goes to Nintendo. A little bit of aggression from that bottom side, but they're able to just accelerate out of there.
Yep, so they grab the Dragon. Saint just throwing the flag. Didn't want to fully commit there. Good job by Curse, not throwing in an extra kill. They don't want to feed as well as give the Dragon.
Right. So we see them kind of gathering up now. Power in numbers for Curtis. They saw the dragon was taken, and they know the gold gap has been closed. It's actually only 400 gold right now. That turret was taken down for GGU, so they've really grabbed up a good amount of global gold as they needed it. The game's just about even at 15 minutes.
I like how Jackie rushed this Zanya's too, because you can basically negate Fizz's ultimate with that. He sets it on you, and you have it timed out. You're like, okay, all I have to do is Zanya's when the shark is about to come up. And since it's an all-in comp from GGU, he really needs to be able to survive that burst from the Fizz assassination.
And they have a perfect comp to just dive by and grab Graves. Mashmi is in deep trouble in these fights. You have both Akali and Jarvan, and although Akali doesn't really want to get caught up in Jarvan's ultimate, they can still do that if they want to.
I mean, both of these teams, they've got great... it's going to be a nice brawl when they get into a team fight, because both of them have a lot of dashes, good gap closers. The poke advantage here, I mean, TF's got great poke as well as Jace, so it's pretty even on that front.
Yeah, Jace finally picking up. There's the brutalizer.
But Graves, just the wave clear on Graves is ridiculous.
So we may see the Lich Bane coming out quite quickly as well for Zion Spartan. He's trying to put out some Zion Spartan. And he does grab the needlessly large rod as well. So a lot of bursts coming from Fizz just in general right there. We'll have to keep an eye on him during the fight. St. Vicious now playing the role of Nintendo X as he chills out in the bush.
Yeah, the Leona, I was like, okay, this is going to be some interesting strat. They're going to do some like weird level 2 gank or something, but it hasn't really been that much of a story. He's got mobility boots, so he can get into position, and here comes the TF ult.
Looks like he may try to come in slowly but surely, throws down Destiny. He's not trying to activate this one, though.
He moved like, what was that, 4 feet?
Yeah.
A couple Teemos?
A couple Teemos. Measure everything in Teemos.
We did have 3 people versus 3 people on the bottom, though. It looks like nothing happened there either. Cop landing another little harass with the Venomous Cask. Zion Spartan is 100% damaged.
Ooh, Cop forced a flash.
That is not a wasted flash. You can't let Zion get close to you. Look how much damage he built. He built straight Sheen and is going for the death cap. The only other item he's got is boots. It's just damage. He really wants to be able to 100% somebody.
And that's going to hurt quite a bit. And even we see Nintendo X trying to throw down on the mobility boots. He knows his ganks have been a little lackluster, so he's trying to make them easier for himself right off the bat. Going around, no more buys coming in for anything else, or core items at least, on GGU side as we look. That Cutlass coming out as they try to finish the revolver on Akali. Boy looking pretty strong right now. Like you said, that Zonya's already being finished for Nijaki. The core item, the Infinity Edge coming out for Cop. The fight team has definitely, you know, come to the party right now for Curse. They're ready.
Yeah, an Infinity Edge on Twitch is really scary because you can crit multiple people, but you can see the difference in the jungles here. St. Vicious, he went with that early Wriggles, and it's paid off. He's almost, what is that, 25 CS ahead of Nintendo. Nintendo's been waiting in the bushes, patiently trying to get these ganks off, and none of them have paid off, so he's paid for that with CS money.
Yeah, that's not exactly what you want to do. Smithy did it last game, but he was grabbing kills on it, and that's exactly where GGU is unfortunately falling short, and that's really a tribute to Cop. They're doing well. They're playing, or not Cop, against Curse, I should say. They're reading these plays very well, and they're countering them as they should be. Zion Spartan grabbing blue, looking to make a move here in this bottom lane as they start to stack the numbers.
Just as we were talking about, Nintendo spending a lot of time in bushes. He comes back down to this bottom one. Really wants to get a successful gank off. They're even going to bring in Zion.
There's the ultimate, a quick cleanse off. It doesn't even get a chance. He dodges the ultimate from Fizz. Zion Spartan is forced to just run with his team now, and we'll see if they can continue this one. Fat is left running, and he gets caught in Cataclysm. Cop comes in. They're going to be able to finalize a kill here, so the Chaos has definitely give them a little advantage, but can they finish this off? GGU wants blood.
You can tell GGU is getting frustrated with the slow pace of this game because by their comp, you know they didn't want to wait. And Curse does a great job of avoiding it. They're so calm right now, and they almost turned it against them right there. 1 kill, and GGU's still pushing. I mean, Boy's coming down. You got to watch out.
They have good aggression here, but like you said, they're coming down, and they have almost zero vision towards that top side except for that ward that has been placed. in the bush just above Mashmi and Bloodwater right now. Them two staying safe in mid, the only lanes that really have double turrets left.
Yeah, the patience really showing here. Like the veteran team, Curse, they're happy to wait. They picked their comp that way. Saint built that way by getting that early wriggles. He knew they was just they were going to try and keep it a farm fest. It just seems like they planned it out so well. And GGU might have not have enough time to practice with Fat again after they thought that Shifter would come back. They're a little off kilter.
So Gunblade finally finished for Voyboy. He can wreak havoc within these fights now and continue the chase. And they have a lot of that, just a lot of catch-up coming from the team. You can jump in with Jarvan, Destiny if he really gets too far out of range. Just a Flask coming in for Cop and the Dazzle. So there's really not much you're going to do if you get locked up. But then again, we saw what happened to Elements. GGU has the same fight capacity of locking somebody up one after the other. So it's just all about getting caught out here. The map somewhat objective free as Dragon falls down. He misses the ult once again. No, but the second one doesn't. The yellow card's there. This is the ult on top of the ult as they stack them. And it looks like it's just going to be in and out for now. The health bars are chilling. And now it's back into the fight for these guys. Voyboy finds a kill there. Throws down the Shroud, completely invisible. Can he find Mastery over the wall? The ward is there, but the range was not for the ultimate. And it looks like Fat could find himself going down here. Bloodwater turned around and he could die here. Voyboy has another charge. The flash is forced. Can he get one last mark of the assassin out? He's going to throw this, but he's also going to go down. He's picked up a good amount of kills, and he almost kept himself alive there with the health steal.
Yeah, that was a really well-played fight by Curse. It was so drawn out. They were really behind because GGU snuck that dragon. It was a good job. At least they're taking the global objectives. They want to make stuff happen, but they weren't able to finish off that back line. Jackie with the Zanya, as I said, it was going to be big. He rushed that item. He did get caught, but he had the perfect answer for it.
So we see a big fight going in the favor of Curse. That's what they wanted, and that's what they've been waiting for. We didn't see them do anything crazy like you said, Kobe. It's slow and steady, find the opening and make it happen.
Yep, they weren't able to finish off those 2 kills. That would have made a huge difference. I mean, Voyboy was just too scary for GGU. Him and Saint basically bullied them off of finishing off those last 2 champion kills there. And now that they've got 2 kills onto Akali, finished his Gunblade, and added on some magic penetration without haunting guys, he is going to be able to chain kills in these team fights.
Nintendude just biding time in the jungle now until he can get in there and help his team for the next fight. We saw those ultimates going out. Zion Spartan missed another one right off the bat, but Nintendude hit his first one.
Yes.
So we can see just what, before that I said they have the same fight composition to lock people down, and they did it. They just have to do it quicker. We saw that they could drop elements on Tarek, so if they can get somebody a little less squishy next time, it's going to be pretty good.
You could tell they really wanted to 100% somebody, and they got super excited when Nintendo did land that, but Jackie, again, great itemization choice, and he had the perfect answer for it. They don't? Oh yeah, he got that red buff. It wasn't St. Vicious though, it was Cop. Exactly who wanted it.
Let's look at that itemization choice. Actually, after this fight, Nintendo taking a good amount of damage here. A great Zyra ulti could stop a bit of that, but they jump in on it. They say, all right, we'll just take the damage, and it looks like they're going to push through this fight. It will be St. Vicious going down, but he is the only one valiantly for his team in a 4-for-1.
Ooh, yeah, and Voyboy almost went down there too, but he was able to dash out to the... Oh, Jackie!
Oh, there's a cop on the other side. I was like, oh, he didn't get the yellow card, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because they've got Twitch with a red buff.
Oh,
Cop gets the ace, and basically we've hit that break point. Curse, they're like, okay, we don't need to wait anymore. The engage was perfect. We stole the red buff, and then we're able to get the engage on top of that. They had confidence from that last dragon fight, and now it's 12-3. That is demoralizing for Team GGU.
You know, as I think about it and it comes in here, I really like the pick of Jace because they banned out Nidalee, and Nidalee, we just said, is a huge factor in these team fights. But you still get the same poke there, and he has built completely for what an AP Nidalee kind of damage would be doing. He went for straight Bloodthirster burst damage and that Brutalizer to get past a little bit of the armor. So you're going to get 50% less damage out of those pokes, but you're going to get the same amount of pokes. It's just they can't get him in there to bring these fights to that damage. We're not seeing it yet.
Yeah, Jace has really good poke as well. But I mean, actually, look at Zion. He didn't build that death cap. He actually went with the Lich Bane first instead.
The burst.
So he wanted to get a burst kill. It's barely coming for them though. You can see Voyboy gets really low. but they weren't able to finish people off, and you have to be able to get the map control after the team fights like that by finishing someone off. Now Elements is free to grab an Oracle's Elixir, and they're just going to take every single ward out around this Baron, continue their slow, methodical play. They don't have to rush anything, so Curse is just going to slowly strangle GGU's supply line here.
This is where the top bit of experience comes into play. They know what they can string out, like you were saying, and they're just going to bait this dragon back and forth. They're clearing wards out. You know, like you said, Elements grabbing the oracles. We're 25 minutes in here as we take a little stock of what's going on. It's 12-3. Curse has quite an advantage right now at 4-1 in turrets and just about a 7,000 gold lead over GGU right now. But we've seen worse, and we've seen teams come back from it, so it's still anybody's game right now. But Curse is trying to write a different story here, and that could be over soon.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of reminiscent of our last game.
Yeah.
Very few mistakes by Vulcan. They just slowly took the global advantages. They grabbed the vision. They bought an early oracles as soon as they had that momentum, and they just used it to continue the push. It looks like GGU are not going to take any bait right now. If Curse was on Baron, they're like, okay, whatever, you guys do Baron. We're not base checking anything.
Right. They're just moving slowly. Nothing to uncautious right now.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to hand this to Curse, and they know if they go and face check Baron, it's going to turn out badly. Because a straight up 5-on-5 fight, they're going to have a hard time winning. And if they go into a 5-on-5 fight without the vision advantage, then it's going to be really dire. So hopefully they can just poke a few wards in here. It looks like Fizz is a really good... never mind, he gets flashed out. Okay, they're good.
That looks like he's trying to get a little bit of that burst out. We can see it's almost insignificant now. Still like the pick, but it kind of falls off at this point in the game. Once those health bars are getting stacked up, they're able to kind of just walk through the composition that GGU has put together here. That first set of initiations we saw down in mid here as they try Baron weren't enough to take down one person. And with all those blown cooldowns, like you said, GGU got a little excited. Here we go, a great dodge on the gold card for Zion Spartan as the Destiny reveals GGU. Looks like he's still going to throw it down, but it's going to be to push the top lane to give him something else to think about while they try to disengage this.
Yeah, we said like GGU, they're not going to face check it. They already decided they're okay. If you're going to take Baron, then you're going to take Baron. We can't really fight you guys. We don't want to throw it too hard, so we'll just hope that you guys come, Curse makes some tower dive, and they're able to pull out something with a easy tower dive or something like that.
So we got 28 minutes here and just a few more, maybe 30 seconds as Voyboy takes Dragon. Will be completely objective free. That leaves it all up to Curse to make the next move and GGU to not make a mistake here.
Don't match me. This is dangerous. He has a Gunblade. If Voyboy catches you, then he can kill you.
He actually just threw out the collateral damage, trying to get some of that damage out. Possibly steal Dragon off a whim. It looks like it goes over to Curse. They just have too much control right now.
Yeah, and it looks like they're finally going to make the march, shove on this bottom lane. Cop down here won't get the jump on him. Already showed, so there's not going to be a free kill. But Elements circling around back with that Oracles. They could just siege up at this turret, slowly push it in.
I really thought Saint was going to jump in that bush. These guys are playing super passive right now as they take a turret. That sounds weird, but for what Curse usually does, for how hard Saint goes in, these guys are really just slow rolling.
I mean, we saw how they were napping on the couch outside earlier. Maybe they're kind of tired and they want to take the first game slowly.
We can see Saint just chatting it up with his team, letting them know what's going on. Yeah, we can get some poke here, but be careful of the initiation.
Yeah, don't dive. Don't dive.
Face to the wall right now. He wants to get in as soon as possible. At least lock up Mashmi, cause that quick draw to be an escape out of Cataclysm, and then he can't use it for anything. There it goes on to St. Vicious. It's not going to hurt too much. That's just about the same as going on to Nijaki with that Zhonya. So now with that freeness, knowing Fizz's ult is down, that's quite a bit of crowd control that they've lost on GGU's side. That's and 2 now.
Yep. Whew. 2 ultimates burn. And that's the thing with Fizz being an assassin, his ultimate can actually be blocked by the first person it hits. So you don't always get it on your intended target. It's a little bit difficult to use, but it looks like Curse, they're going to walk this one in. You get your first inhibitor down.
And you see what kind of respect Curse is giving to GGU right now, which is quite a bit. But after 2 ultimates, they know they had the advantage. They know they were able to take it.
I mean, Curse are definitely thinking like the exact opposite of GGU. GGU's like, I hope they dive right now. There it is.
Yeah, exactly. Mashme taking a bit of damage. Again, forced out the Shirelias all in defense. Voyboy taking quite a bit of damage, but he is now invisible, can't be seen, and that's when they reinitiate the fight. The cooldowns are up for Zion Spartan and the rest of his team. The Zonias is down now, and they are forced onto their fountain Kobe. Curse taking control and ripping the base to shambles.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard to come back from. 2 people down. Curse are in your base, taking your inhibitors. They have Baron buff. They've just got so much power right now. They could recall if they were really feeling sleepy. It looks like Cop's the only one who wants to do damage. Saint feels like he wants to heal up, go by, and return at a later date.
We'll see if that can happen, or when that happens rather, and if GGU can stave off one more fight. It really needs to be a Baron to turn this one around for them. It's going to cost at least 6 fights in their favor if it's not that objective. Yeah. Because this one, in the terms of time, we hear, you know, Scar and say that when they got the kill in the beginning of the game, it's 5-6 minutes behind right now, and that takes a while to get back because you're not always gaining ground every minute.
Yeah, they even took a Nexus turret, so
yeah,
you can't even rely. You can't rely even on a double turret dive.
Twitch can just
a fountain
roll
dive,
on
maybe.
in.
Yeah, maybe a fountain dive. That could turn it around here. Saint might get a little tip from McNoon and just decide to go deep.
So again, almost a shutout game here for Curse. They've lost that bottom turret.
Yeah, one turret.
One turret down, but they have pressed on. They have taken down 8. They look down to take the last outer turret in this top lane as they start to rotate. They got a little bit of a wave to push first. You're going to see him just set up on this sideline here. Saint, be that defense.
Look how tanky Jackie built this game. Not only did he rush that Zhonya's, but he also went with the Rally's Crystal Scepter, adding a lot of HP to him. And the Lichbane is just core item, so you pretty much always get that one on TF. Definitely going to help out with killing people as well as buildings.
Well, right, really, that's what you do when you see somebody trying to build an absolute burst against you. You just build that HP and make sure you don't die right away.
They also have an Aegis of the Legion here on Elements, so not only is he providing that armor aura, but then he's also got the item armor and magic resist aura coming in, making everybody on the entire team tanky. Voyboy very deep in the base, and GGU are scared.
I like this. I wanted to do this last night when I was playing AD carry. Thank you, Cop. He built a frozen mallet. Now, my situation was I needed to get the hell away from who was killing me, but this is a chase down, and they add even more of that grab. You have the Hextech Revolver. There's a Dazzle initiation. Mark of the Assassin goes out, but they decide to back off. And just, if even GGU can start to disengage, Curse has so much, just get back here. You're staying in the fight. Inhibitor goes down here, Kobe. 1.5 minutes for almost both Dragon and Baron, but the Nexus turret now is in the eyes of Curse. One final turret stands in Cop. Nobody's stopping him from shooting. He dodges out on the ultimate once again. Only one has hit the whole time for Zion Spartan. The Cataclysm keeps them from being able to stop any damage to the Nexus. Curse looks to keep themselves undefeated in the North American LCS, now 6-0.
Curse.